welcome everybody to this week's World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name is Maxwell and today's first video is from the user Evil Gopher. That's the Evil Gopher, and he's driving the FV4202, which is the British Tier 10 medium tank. And, sorry, he is on a standard battle on the highway. So first things first, he's going to be heading all the way along this northern border here and going to try and get into a good firing position. Probably going to just be hanging around by this river as this thing has nowhere near the speed or agility to get up to the top of the hill before the enemy gets into position. He's actually pushing... No, there we go. I was going to say he's actually pushing pretty far forward, but no, deciding that he doesn't have the support of his allies. As you can see, nobody else really heading in this direction. So he's going to get himself into a good hold-down position, use these bushes as cover, and try and spot out somebody else coming from the enemy's base direction. So as you can see, his team being pretty campy on this northern flank. You've got a tank destroyer and a heavy tank behind him, and they don't really have anybody out to spot, so it's really on the enemy to make the push now. Deciding that he doesn't really want to camp, so pushes out now. He's been spotted by somebody, so maybe time again to fall back towards the river. Looks like he probably got spotted out by a light tank, and that is all, as nobody's really had a shot yet. The artillery lands, so probably spotted out by a light tank on the enemy side that probably wasn't able to do any damage to him, or didn't want to give away their position. So that kind of lets you know that there aren't that many people for the enemy team on this northern flank, or they were focused somewhere else. So it looks like he's got the support of a light tank now, going to be coming up and hoping to try and get some spotting done for the allies. They've got a lot of guns on this northern area. Spots out 12T here, who is dueling with a Type 62. Going to wait to see if he can get a shot on target, but it looks like that Type 62 is just blocking him at the moment. There we go, opened up, has his shot, and takes him out. As you can see, there is, I think that was a T21, I want to say, but I didn't quite... Oh, takes him out as well. It was a T71. Of course it was. Wasn't quite able to see what it was because of the reticule, but that was an excellent blind shot there, knowing that the tank probably wasn't going to move, and he was safe to take his shot and take him out. So the light tank's doing a good job here of spotting out enough of the enemy for... Sorry about that, for these guys to be able to lay down some damage. But again, nobody's really making a push on this northern flank. Like I said, he's got... Who is that? He's got a T11 and an Object 704 behind him. Oh, spots out a bat chat here. It's quite a distance away, 380 meters, but hopefully should be able to get some more damage on him. Although he's using that terrain as cover pretty effectively and is now getting the hell out of dodge. T71 doing a good job of spotting out exactly who was on that flank, and as you can see, there pretty much isn't anybody, just that bat chat that was left. Oh, and there we go, spots out a T62A cresting the hill in an attempt to try and take him out. Gets a good shot through his side armor and takes out his tracks. Hopefully some of the larger guns behind him should be able to get him out. T62A switching his focus, as he probably didn't have the gun depression to get on target for that T71. Had a shot at Evil Gopher, missed. That one did a huge amount of damage though, and he's down to about a quarter of his hit points there. 575 hit points left. It's a massive hit on that bat chat with thanks from one of his allies behind him. One more shot should be able to take him out, and there we go, picking up his fourth kill now of this match. So it started pretty slow, but there's been a good flurry of action in the middle of this match now. There was a tank destroyer camped just over that ridge. It's going to allow the bat chat to go and scout that one out, since he has the speed and agility. And Evil Gopher's lost 3/4 of his hit points here, so really can't afford to take a big hit from this Object 268. Luckily the 268 is on the other side of that ridge, so they're going to be able to move up at their leisure. Not sure if the bat chat rammed the object there or was just shot in the face. I'm going to say he was probably shot in the face, and the object removing him from the match. So they've lost their little scout that was on this flank. Luckily the Object 268 is probably running away, so probably got his rear armor exposed and not got his gun on target. As you can see, spots him out trying to reposition himself, but he's still not able to get his gun on target. And the Object 704 looks like he's going to sneak around to the side. Hopefully that will take up his attention, and Evil Gopher's going to be able to get some shots through his side armor. And there we go, able to pick up his 5th kill of the match, taking out the Object 268. So the enemy team isn't faring particularly well now. The allies are winning at 9 kills to 6. Object 704 just gets hit with some artillery there. So yeah, enemy team not faring particularly well, although they do have 4 artillery pieces still on the field, and that looks like a T-71, and what is that, an M103. So if this artillery can position itself well, although it probably looks like it can't, they may have to make a run for the city, although it looks like they're going to get found out doing that, as the allies do have a light tank in their spotting. So this is going to be pretty much a crapshoot here. The artillery taken out their last remaining heavy tank, so that just leaves their T-71, who actually looks like he may be AFK. So this is just going to be a case of coming in and picking up the kills on the remaining artillery, which they know are hiding in the bushes at the back there. So a lot of people give a lot of crap to the higher tier British tanks, saying that they are a bit garbage and aren't really worth the trouble to grind out. But as you can see, the British tanks can achieve something if used to their potential. They're definitely not the fastest or most manoeuvrable of tanks, or with the hardest hitting cannons, but they are consistent and they are brawlers, is one thing you can say about them. So just 3 artillery pieces left. Not really much they're going to be able to do to defend themselves. Not quite able to take out that Object 261, unfortunately. As you can see, he's aiming his cannon, but there isn't really anybody for him to shoot at, so he's just going to get himself eliminated. And Evil Gopher picks up his 7th kill of the match. It looks like they've taken out one of the other guys. Who was that? That was the T-62A, so that's already been eliminated. So 2 artillery pieces left. If they position themselves well, they know which direction the enemy is coming from. And they haven't quite positioned themselves properly. This T-92 may be able to take out Evil Gopher if he's lucky, but no, the Object 704 picks him up, which leaves Evil Gopher with 8 kills in this match using the Tier 10 British medium tank. So awesome replay from him. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around, guys, because there's another one coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Moku. That's Moku, probably a take on the pronunciation of moo cow, obviously with the switching round of those O's. And he's driving the Jagdpanther on an encounter battle on the Sand River. Jagdpanther being the Tier 7 tank destroyer for the Germans. Pretty good tank, has a decent cannon, a good frontal armour, especially with that slope there, tends to bounce a good amount of shots. And you know I don't really enjoy tank destroyer replays when they're just sitting in a bush and taking people out, so as you can imagine this one is going to be a little bit more action-packed than your usual tank destroyer videos. So sit back, relax and enjoy. First things first, he's going to be heading to this far left-hand flank here and going to be trying to take up a position watching over that cap zone, as the enemy may decide to rush. And even if they don't decide to rush, you normally get 1 or 2 stragglers who head in there. Although, as you can see, that KV-1S looks like he is making a beeline straight for that cap zone with no real regard of anybody else. He's just going to be heading straight in there. So, on the downside, he's probably going to get his face kicked in. But on the plus side, he's probably going to draw some of the enemy over to the cap zone in order to try and stop him there. And that's going to give a chance to these tank destroyers and heavy tanks a chance to have free shots at anybody coming in to try and take him out, which, well, free damage is always good. So just going to speed this one up a little bit until we get back into the action. As you can see, it's a little bit of a trek from the spawn zone to these sand dunes here, especially when you're driving something like a Jagdpanther, which is pretty slow, not the fastest or most manoeuvrable tank or tank destroyer known. So he's going to be setting himself up. As you can see, that KV-1S already getting himself into trouble. There is a Tiger, another KV-1S, and a Jagdpanther in there, and he's probably not long for this world. Has a shot at the Tiger. I think that was... Nope, it is a Tiger. I thought it was a Tiger P. Has a shot, but misses. Should be able to... There we go. Nails that Panther pretty nicely through the side armor. That Tiger has a shot, but all he can really see is the top of the Jagdpanther there. And just hitting that slope of the armor, the shot just bounces. So after the KV-1S planted himself in the cap zone, as you can see, the enemy has decided to abandon that northern flank there and divert a lot of its forces to this southern area. So people may complain and say that that KV-1S kind of just sacrificed himself and it was a waste, but at the end of the day, he's drawn the enemy. Good shot on that Tiger P there. He's drawn the enemy from their original plan in the north there and forced them to come down and deal with him. So if anything, he's disrupted their plans and taken them out of position, which is always a good thing, whether he survived or not. Going to try and hit the back of that Jagdpanther. Just not enough of it visible to be able to land that shot. Going to see if his second one can land, but nope. Still not enough of it visible for him to land. So this next one, he's going to hope he can take out that Tiger, and he does indeed, picking up his first kill so far of this match. The enemy looking like they are pretty stubborn, refusing to leave this cap zone and just stubbornly trying to finish this one. Obviously the KV-1S is thinking to himself, yeah, I'm done getting shot at, I am out of here. So just going to track him through the buildings and see if an opportunity to get an open clear shot presents itself. Unfortunately, it looks like the building's just blocking his ability to get a good shot there. But it looks like the enemy has swept in from that right-hand flank down from the southern area. Those two medium tanks doing some work, pinning down the T-29 and taking out... Is that a Hellcat? Nope, it's a Wolverine. So pinning down the T-29 and taking out that Wolverine. Mukau's just going to reposition himself and see if he can get some damage on this VK, who's clearly focused on the T-29. He's actually... No, it was a different T-29 that's just been eliminated. Ooh, gets a good couple of shots on this 30-02, although he just about... Oh, can he get a shot on that turret? No! Not quite enough of the turret visible, and the 30-02 just about manages to get himself between the sand dunes there and save his hide. Oh, although it looks like the Black Prince has taken him out from the north there. So the cap up to 55% now. It looks like they've definitely got more than one tank in there, or it will be going up a lot slower than it is. So someone's going to have to get some eyes. Spots out a Panther. Hopefully a shot should just go straight through his front armor and take a good chunk of his hit points off. So yep, there's definitely somebody else in this cap zone as they are pounding this Panther, and still the cap is on 20%. And there you see a KV-1S. Should be a simple case of just eliminating him and picking up his fourth kill of this match. He's getting shot at by a T-29 from the north now, who has managed to punch a hole in the allied forces there. So just going to put himself on the other side of this sand dune so that he can get some shots on this Tiger P. Tiger P has decided to leave the cap zone in and attempt to try and get a better defended position, as there's no way he's going to be able to win this cap himself, but it looks like he's focused almost entirely on who is that. It is a Tiger. So our man here able to get some good damage through his side armor and take out his track. And it looks like the Tiger P is focusing entirely on somebody else now, so just going to be able to get some free damage through, and this should be his 5th kill now. So although it looks like the allies are doing pretty well, the game is still very, very even at 11 kills to 10. Only 1 kill separating them now, and the allies are fairly scattered. They've got 1 in the far left-hand flank, 1 on the far right-hand flank, and 3 of them in the centre here. Although it looks like the enemy is also fairly scattered. That T-29 trying to push in on the cap zone solo. Although our man here has been spotted out by somebody as he takes a shot from the north. Probably not from the Hummel, as that probably would have done some damage. So it looks like it was almost certainly from... Ooh, can he get this shot? No, not quite. So it looks like it was almost certainly from that AMX there. T29 looking like he's trying to charge the Tiger here and try and get some turret hugging done. And the T29 is able to take him out, although our man here was able to take out his tracks. One more shot through the side armor, able to pick up that kill, picking up his 6th now of the match. So there's a Top Gun medal for Moku. Congratulations to him. This AMX M445 now not going to be able to get this cap done by himself, especially not with only 200 hit points. Although he missed that shot, the Hummel comes into view. Going to see what he can achieve. At least they're sticking together. Going to see if he can get this shot before the Hummel fires. Hummel fired. Unfortunately, the Hummel missed, so it leaves just this solo AMX now hiding in the buildings. Although that KV3 finished him off. So absolutely awesome replay there from Moku or Mukau, depending on which one you prefer. Picking up 7 kills and being an absolute beast at base defense there. So thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because there is another one coming right up. And our next replay of the day is from the user Hunter Killer. That's Hunter Killer spelled with a curious mix of numbers and weird letters, and he's drawn the Tiger P on an encounter battle on Muravanka. Excuse me. So the Tiger P is obviously the tier 7 heavy tank for the Germans, the counterpart to the other Tiger. It's the one with the 200 frontal armor. Unfortunately, the front armor is pretty flat, so if you know its weak spots, you can sometimes get a shot through that front armor, although normally it's just best to shoot at that giant ring on the top of its turret, as that is almost a guaranteed penetration. So straight away in this match, going to be heading to the northern flank, which is what you do when you are in a heavy tank and you are playing on Muravanka Encounter. You head to this northern flank, especially when you've got a decent amount of armor, and then you push down as quickly as possible. Try and take the advanced position, because if you can get to the cap zone before the enemy does, not necessarily even to take the cap, just to get into a hull down position so that you can fire at the enemy as they have to come out in the open to fire at you. So he's got a good amount of support here. He's got a Panther medium tank on the far right hand side there. On his far right, so the far left hand flank, doing some good spotting, and he's got the support of another Tiger P and an IS, both very good tier 7 tanks. Spot out a regular Tiger, all 3 of them going to have a shot, all 3 of them going to do some damage. So it's going to be a dice roll here of who manages to pick up the kill for this guy. And Hunter Killer is able to do that and pick up his first kill now of the match. Takes a shot in the face, so he knows he's been spotted out by somebody, but luckily, as I said, that front armor doing a fantastic job of stopping that shot, hitting just on the slope there and not penetrating. So we're going to be pushing forward to the cap zone now. As you can see, there's a T25-2 there, but he's going to get dealt with pretty quickly, and he's going to have to run away, or he's going to get himself in a whole world of trouble. As you can see, he gets a good shot straight through his front armor, and everybody else going to pound him and take him out fairly quickly. So the Allied team doing a good job of overrunning the enemy at the moment, picking up 4 kills to only 1. That Allied Tiger P is now pushing on the enemy's entrenched position, as you can see, catching them out in the open. A lot of them, seeing what was happening with the push of the heavy tanks down this flank, have decided to take up entrenched positions in those bushes. The only problem is there's nowhere really for them to fall back to apart from behind that house. But if they're falling back behind the house, then they don't have a shot at the enemy who are pushing down. So we're going to be trying to focus fire on this IS here and try and get him out of the battle. As you can see, he's just left himself way out in the open, although he's managed to get himself behind this T150. The T150 not taking any damage there from the fire of the Tiger P here. Gets a shot on the side, but again, not going to be able to get through his massive frontal armor. That T25 AT So just going to move down into the lee of this hill here just to provide himself a little bit of cover from that T25. And then he's going to fire at this T150 at his leisure. And we're trying to pick out his weak spots, unfortunately just about missing that shot, which is a little bit unfortunate. Going to advance further forward, have a shot. Sees that he's still there from the tracer fire, so decides to fire one off into the fog of war. Not sure if that's done any damage to him. As you can see, he's just going to come down, finish off this T29, who's doing a good job of keeping himself hulled down against the guys from the front. Unfortunately, there's nothing he can do about getting shot full on in the side from a Tiger P. So this T150 at the moment stubbornly refusing to shift, although he's had his tracks eliminated now, so it's going to be curtains for him, although that was unfortunately a 0 damage critical through his front armor. Hopefully this second shot should be able to finish him off, and indeed it does, and Hunter Killer is able to pick up his 3rd kill now of this match. Spots out another T25 AT, or maybe that's the T25 from earlier. Going to be able to put a round straight through his front plate, and that forces the T25 to drop back behind this building and take some cover from the impending wave of tanks. Actually, they've lost a fair amount of their forces pushing here. Only got one IS, and that Panther still in a spotting position. Not sure what he's going to achieve from that position now. As you can see, starting to move, in fact. So going to just power straight around this corner. Even if that T25 AT had penetrated his front armor, he had more than enough hit points just to be able to take that, say thank you very much, and then take him out anyway, which he does, picking up his 4th kill now of the match. So the enemy doing a good job of stalling the push through the forest here. Unfortunately, they are about to get flanked and closed in on from the rear. That KV-1S not faring particularly well against the guys here. You're going to have a shot into the fog of war to try and hit that guy. Unfortunately, he must have moved, or his crew not quite able to find the kill on that one. AT7 there should be able to put a shot. That looks like the rear armor possibly.
We've hit them hard.
So able to get a good amount of damage through there. Unfortunately, not quite able to finish him off. Just left with 7 hit points, that looked like. Going to have another shot into the fog of war and able to pick that one up. So the score's resting at 12 to 10 at the moment. This IS going to be doing what he can. He's finished off everybody in the forest, but it looks like Hunter Killer's just going to say no, thank you. Not having any of that today. Taking him out to pick up his 6th kill of this match now and a Top Gun medal to his name. So there's not really much this Tiger's going to be able to achieve, especially not with 56 hit points, and especially not when he gets himself taken out. The SU-8 able to take out the track of the Tiger P here. Not sure where that shot came from. Going to have a shot into the trees anyway, just to see if he can take him out. Not quite able to find him. That IS coming up to support now, and the two of them should be able to hunt him out and finish him off. So both going to head into these into this little forested area. Hunter Killer from the south here, and the IS they're going to be heading in from a more central northern position. Hopefully they can find this guy and quickly take him out. And that Panther looks like he started a base capture just in case everything goes horribly wrong. Ooh, not quite able to finish him off there, taking him down to 2 hit points. It would be nice if he could pick up this kill, considering he's done 99% of the damage, and indeed he can. Picking up a total of 8 kills in this match, and showing that if you've got the armor and you've got the hit points, then you can basically just push all the way down one flank without encountering too many problems. So excellent replay there from Hunter Killer. Thank you for sending that one in, and I will see you in the next replay. And our next replay is from the user Survivor03. That's Survivor03. He's driving the T-29 on a standard battle on Wide Park, and the T-29 is a Tier 7 heavy tank for the Americans, and anybody who's watched me for any length of time knows that the T-29 is probably one of my favourite tanks right after the Churchill Mark III in the whole of World of Tanks. Probably my second favourite tank. Even edges out the Chaffee that probably comes in a close third position. So yep, T-29, one of my favourite tanks in this game, and you are about to find out why. So we're going to be heading straight off towards the train tracks, as that offers a good amount of hull down action. You can get on the side of this thing and hug it, and then just peek your head over the top, try and get hits on whoever you can, and stay safe. As you can see, already taking a shot there, so there's already somebody at the train tracks from in the north there. That's not too much of a stretch of the imagination, considering he had a little bit of AFK time at the beginning. Churchill Mark 7 just pulling in front of the Jagdpanther there, and unfortunately Survivor missing his first shot. Although his second shot is a bang on target hit, picking up his first kill. So the 3601 not quite able to get a shot on his turret as he falls back. Now he's going to be poking himself back out, so going to try and find a shot on him. Not quite able to get a hit on his turret again as he drops back just after firing. So the 3601 playing it pretty smart and pretty carefully at the moment. Unfortunately, the T-29 staying in a good hull down position, and he's never ever going to take any damage through that front of his turret, which has a massive 298 armor. So that Jagdpanther is still there. Although he is nicely hidden behind a building, not able to find a shot on him. Going to see if he can get a shot through the train cars. Not quite able to do that, just hitting the train cars instead and obliterating them. So going to see if he can maybe get a shot on this Jagdpanther as he moves out to try and get a shot on him. Does indeed manage to hit that Jagdpanther, but not doing any damage to that front armor. Somehow this T-49 managed to bounce a shot on the rear armor of the T-29, which is a little bit weird considering the rear armor is pretty terrible for these things, especially because it's just one big flat plate. Maybe he bounced it at a steep angle on the engine housing, not too sure. We're going to see if we can get a shot under the train car again this time. Oh, just about hitting the ground there. It was probably a bit of a big ask there to try and sneak a shot underneath that train car. So gonna have to switch his attention to this Jagdpanther. It's a good hit on him. Gonna try and drop back before the Jagdpanther returns fire, but the Jagdpanther is able to get his track. Falls back a little bit, probably trying to rely on his reload speed. Reloads around about the same time as this T-29, although the T-29 gets some damage and the Jagdpanther doesn't. So picking up his second kill now of this match, and for 0 damage returned. The VK-3601 again pumping a shot into the turret and not able to do any damage. T-29 just going to sit at his leisure in this hull down position and then pick up his third kill now of this match. So he's done a good job of halting the enemy's advance in this far right hand flank, although it looks like some people have managed to sneak past along these train tracks, although they are now getting stalled in the ruined town there. And our man Survivor just going to see if he can pick something up. Going to maybe fire at this Crusader. Oh, nice shot there, getting an almost 300-meter kill on that Crusader, travelling at a decent clip. Picking up now his fourth kill of this match. Spots out a Panther, who's almost certainly going to be heading down these train tracks, although he's not going to be able to get away from our man in this T-29 now. I don't think there's enough cover. Oh, just able to get behind this wall here. So that's going to force Survivor to move a little bit more out of position, but he is able to pick up this kill. So he's getting shot in the rear by somebody now, although it didn't do particularly large amount of damage, so he's pretty safe. Now he's got a choice whether he wants to push over the train tracks and try and come at the enemy's base from behind, or maybe fall back. I'm going to take out this T-49 now, picking up 6 kills. And evening the score at 10 kills to 10 and picking himself up a Top Gun medal. So although Survivor's having an absolutely storming game here, picking up 6 kills for himself, it looks like the enemy team is being a little bit smarter. T-25 crashing into the side of him and taking out his tracks there. A bit of an idiot move. But no harm, no foul. Didn't actually do any real damage to him. So yeah, although Survivor's having a storming game here and picking up 6 kills to his name, it looks like the enemy team is being better coordinated and just having a better time of it overall, keeping that score nice and even at 10-10. So going to be dropping back here to the subway area to try and defend the enemy's push. As you can see, they have a 30-01, but he only has 13 hit points. Finds a Hellcat, going to see if he can get a shot on this Hellcat. Not quite able to get any damage on him as he drops back. Just taking a little bit too long with his shot, although it looks like this Hellcat is hungry for more damage, so he's going to put himself into a bad spot. No, he's not. He's going to play that one a little bit smart and just, nope, puts himself out into the open against a hull down T-29. There's going to be nothing he can do, just gets a shot full on in the face. Going to see if he leaves himself out long enough. No, not quite. Has a shot and decides to drop back. This IS only has 33 hit points here, so Survivor able to take him out, picking up kill number 7. So although it was fairly even, it looks like the enemy team tanks have very little hit points left, so this should be a case of just clean up crew, taking out the Hellcat, picking up kill number 8. So what do the enemy team have left? They've got a KV-1S in the north and a almost full health T-29. So this one's going to be a little bit difficult, although the allied team has the almost full health T-29 of Survivor here, and that T-25 anti-tank. And who is that in the distance? That is a T-34-85, which doesn't look like he has achieved much so far in this game. Going to see if he can try and find a shot on this T-29, but it looks like he's in a decent amount of cover. Not sure what the T-34-85 is doing. He's just kind of hanging around the cap zone. And this T-25 anti-tank got 1 kill to his name, but the real star so far is Survivor with 8 kills. So they're going to have to play this one nice and smart. So that T-34-85 definitely isn't AFK because he started moving. Although not sure what it is he's thinking about doing. He's moving forward, then moving backwards, and then pausing, and then maybe he's having some connection issues. So Survivor sees that the T-29's looking in the wrong direction. Going to poke himself over the top of that hill and try and have a shot on him before he's able to get his gun on target, which indeed he is able to do. Going to try and do the same thing again, get his gun on target, get some damage. Oh, that one's soaked up by the tracks. Luckily, the shot from that KV-1S exploding and not doing any damage. Not sure whether that one hit the turret, but almost certainly it did. And they're going to have to play this one pretty smart. That T-29 looking like he's looking for this subway area. To be honest, that T-34-85 should have started moving about 2 minutes ago and heading to that far right-hand flank and flanking around behind the enemy. Not sure what he's thinking about doing. So that T-29 looking in the wrong direction, so hopefully Survivor may be able to come over the top and have a cheeky shot before he gets his gun on target, which he's going to try and do. Unfortunately, didn't quite leave it long enough to aim, and his shot just about misses. To be honest, he probably wants to get the KV-1S out of the battle sooner, although the KV-1S is being smarter about hiding himself. Huge tracks of that T-29 soaking up that shot, so this one is pretty tense. Taking a little bit more time to aim here and able to get a good bit of damage through that T-29's armor, although the T-29 is able to reply and do exactly the same amount of damage back to him. And in a war of attrition, Survivor would lose that one as he has slightly less hit points than the other T-29 does. Still not sure why that T-34 isn't flanking around to the far north there. Even if he gets himself spotted out and the enemy decide to focus on him, he will have distracted them long enough for the other guys here to do some damage. So that KV-1S just playing it smart there. He took a shot in the face, so he's deciding to fall back and get into some cover. As you can see, Survivor telling him to go and flank that T-34-85, which has the speed and it's got a good rate of fire on that cannon. If he can get some flanking on and take somebody from the side or the rear, can really turn the tide of this battle. So as you can see, they're taking up defensive positions now on this road here, which is going to force the T-25AT to move, as he's not going to be able to poke over the top and get shots through their side armor thanks to the buildings providing cover. Oh, that's a little bit unlucky there, not quite able to get a shot on this KV-1S because of the gun of the dead enemy IS. So that gun just cock blocking him there a little bit, not quite able to get any shots on target, which is a shame. Going to have a shot anyway, but not quite able to get a round onto the KV-1S there. As you can see, the T-34-85 finally making a move through that town. Not sure why the T-25AT is still just sat there. Both of the remaining tanks of the enemy are on this road here, so he should really be pushing over the road. Going to have a shot into the fog of war, just hoping he can catch somebody out while they're repositioning. But yeah, that T-25 really should be pushing over the top of those train tracks right about now. Still blocked by the gun of that fallen IS. He's really going to have to move himself into a better fire position, as he's not going to be able to get anything from this exchange. He's doing a good job of side scraping at the moment, only revealing a slight bit of his side armor, and at such a steep angle that they are not able to get any damage through. So finally that T-25 heeds the advice and decides to push forward over the train tracks. To be honest, could have done with that about 30 seconds ago, and it would have been in a fire position already. So that KV-1S finally gets himself taken out by that T-25, and that leaves the T-34-85 to shoot at the rear armor of this T-29. And if that T-29 does decide to turn and focus on the T-34-85, he's going to get himself eliminated from Survivor. So he decides to do the only thing that he can, which is push on as quickly as possible to try and take out Survivor and block his rear armor off from being fired at by the enemy. Unfortunately, his first shot bounces and Survivor's doesn't. Ooh, gets a good hit finally through the rear side armor, taking him down to 64 hit points, but Survivor able to eventually take him out and pick up a well-deserved final kill in this match for a total of 9. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why the T-29 is one of my favourite tanks in World of Tanks. So absolutely awesome replay there from Survivor 03. Thank you very much for sending that one in to us. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.